All right, here we go. Here we go. Welcome back, Leverage Nation. Tonight's guest, none other than Johnny Martinez, good friend of mine, good guy out of Social Plug Podcast. So I've been watching his podcast. I've been watching Johnny for a while. Actually, it's been a couple years. I think we met each other out there on the Sunset, in the real estate industry. And I've just been watching him and watching his folks and what they've been doing. They're doing some great things. And Johnny really has the content that resonates with me, guys. So that's what was important when Johnny and I connected and we talked about getting together on the show. It was about that fact right there. So I don't want to do it any injustice, but Johnny Martinez, tell our guests, tell our audience who you are, brother.
Jacob, first off, thanks for having me on, brother. I mean, it is an honor. I love being on podcasts. Um, I just love the conversation and the relationships, man. It makes me feel good. You're doing some damn good things too, Jacob. I see you, man. I see you on social media. You're giving your advice, your nuggets, all those things. You're in the gym. You took my call the other day when you were in the sauna. So
Yeah,
hell yeah,
man.
bro. So yeah, so
Yeah,
you're making a difference, man. Who I am, I'm just an ordinary dude doing some cool stuff. Every day I get to meet people, meet new people, have them on my show, get out there, help people gain confidence, gain another perspective that they might not have even known that they had or that there was. Um, I'm a dad. I'm an entrepreneur. I try to influence people as much as possible, and yeah, I just have a good time, Jacob. That's what I do, man. Whatever it takes to get the job done. That's what I do.
that's right, man. And that's like I said, what resonates with me. That's what's resonated as I've watched you for a while, and when you came out with Social Plug podcast, and some of your guests, a lot of those folks they resonate with me as well, and so a lot of similarities there. The truth bombs, right? At the end of the day, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Just dropping those truth bombs, because a lot of people out there can have a show, they can script it up, they can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, man, like, is there any truth to that shit? You know what I mean? Is there
Yeah.
any truth to what they're talking about?
Validation.
Uh, yeah, man, the
Yeah.
validation, and and
Hmm.
and the other thing, I say sometimes, and I don't try to, you know, be a jerk about it, but like, skins on the wall, right? Like, you know, um, it's so easy today with social media, to jump on there anywhere and just start throwing stuff out there, and we can reiterate content from whoever all the time, right? But do we have any substance behind that? Right, that's what's key, right? Is the substance that supports it, you know what I mean? So, like I said, for my audience, I want y'all to know, like, Johnny Martinez, he's a veteran. I don't think he dropped that in there. He's a very accomplished realtor. He's got a team. He's got several businesses, a very successful businessman. So we're not talking to somebody that just has theory, right? And that's what's key about whenever I put my message out there, whenever I'm talking to people. I'm not looking to provide theories. I'm looking to provide some facts and some data that goes with the skins on the wall. So, I really
Jacob, I
appreciate you,
didn't I
Johnny.
didn't pay you to say any of that stuff.
Man, it is what it is, brother. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's people out here that are plugging away, that are doing the work, man, that are just doing it,
Yeah.
and they may not have the, millions of followers or millions of, content views and some of that good stuff, but the skins are on the wall every day, right? Like, every day, because we plug in every day, man. I mean, you called me, it was
Plugged
bright and
in, man.
early. That's right. That's right. That plugged in. I seen
That's
y'all
right.
do that,
That's right.
and that's the key, is, getting plugged in, and who we're plugged in to, right? I know you're out in the New Braunfels area, but you're supporting the San Antonio's missions, and I love
Mhm.
it. And San Antonio and New Braunfels are intertwined, and there's a
Yep.
lot going on, a lot of goodness going on together. And we have a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, starving entrepreneurs, realtors. Man, we could deep dive that whole realtor side, but ultimately, it's just plugging into people and helping them, you know. So that's what I like, man. You guys
Yeah,
have been doing a lot of that. Tell the audience a little more about what you're doing out there. I know you have a new project you and Jerry just got going, right?
absolutely. So thanks for that plug, Jacob. And we all are plugged in. So the
Hmm.
reason why we came up with the name Social Plug Media. So let me give the audience some perspective.
Yeah,
Social Plug Media is our umbrella. So just picture ESPN, right? ESPN
got you.
has several podcasts, several shows, several, 30 for 30 all under it. So the
Yeah.
Social Plug podcast is one of those entities under it. Um,
Mm,
and we have about 5 or 6 podcasts that we
okay.
have under Social Plug Media. So we have 3 that our staff from Social Plug Media do, but we have other people in New Braunfels that have their own podcasts that they do right here in Collab Space Studios. So that's
Yeah.
the project Jerry Salceda and I have. So we own Collab Space Studios, which is the first and only in New Braunfels content creation studio and podcasting studio where people can come in, not only network and connect and collaborate with us, but they can create their own podcast and have us edit and market and do all these things for them. Because a lot of people don't have that resource. I
Yep.
mean, hell, everybody wants to be a content creator or a podcaster, but do they truly have the software, the cameras, the mics, all those things? They really don't. It costs some money. Um,
Yeah.
but they come in here and they rent our space and they have in-person mentors and coaches that can help them get started. And a lot of people, their biggest fear is being on camera and not knowing what to say on camera or looking perfect. They're trying to look like some kind of news anchor. No, no, you don't have to do that. Just be a regular person so people can
Yeah.
know that you're genuine. So, like for me, Jacob, what you see is what you get. The way I am today, on camera is the same way I am in person. And my wife
Yeah.
says, "You need to tone it down a little bit because you're so passionate." But that's just who I am. I mean, I'm truly passionate about helping people and getting people to show their value, show their worth, get on camera and show the masses who they are.
Yeah.
Um, from a person's perspective who has skins on the wall, like you mentioned. So when
Yeah.
you say skins on the wall, what you mean is credibility. So
Yes.
credibility is a huge thing.
Yep.
Credibility and branding go hand in hand. Your brand, Jacob, is credibility, and credibility is your brand. So when people
That's
think
right.
about me or you or these other people, they want to make sure that they're dealing with the right people. They're connecting and plugged in with the correct people who are going to help them elevate, not be toxic or send them a different route that they're not interested in. We want
Yeah.
to make sure that we give people that value and those different perspectives to help them grow and develop and do all these things. So I've been fortunate and blessed to have this podcast platform, and 2 of the most powerful tools in the world are a microphone and a platform. And
That's so
luckily for
true,
us,
man.
we have both of them here, and we
That's
have
so true,
several
man.
several microphones and several platforms that we're able to help people grow with.
I love
So
it. I love it. What you're talking about is exactly what I speak about all the time, right? The show is Leverage Nation. You know,
mhm,
we like to shine the light on, leveraged opportunity, right? Because I believe there's leveraged opportunity all around us. And I think what happens a lot of times is folks miss leveraged opportunity because it doesn't show up gift wrapped in a nice little package with a bow, pink bow, and all this stuff. So what you guys are doing is creating opportunity for starving entrepreneurs, people that are just getting rolling. And the mentorship, man, I didn't even know you guys were offering that tutelage and the mentorship that goes with it. And man, that's huge. That's huge, especially like you said, in the New Braunfels and San Antonio area. Like you can rent a room anywhere, right? Like here where we have our office space, there's a room that comes with it. So people could rent a room anywhere, but to actually get the nice equipment, to get the right equipment and the right stuff, and then somebody to help them, and then somebody like yourself, like you said, Johnny, like to show them like, man, it's all right. Just run as you come. You know what I mean? Like,
right, right.
like just bring it. Like,
Mhm.
like Gary Vee says, just turn the camera on. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, and we don't care about how much experience you have. You can never have been on social media before. You can be completely against social media, or you can be a world-renowned podcaster or content creator. We'll welcome you in, and we'll exchange ideas. Hell, we can
Yeah,
learn some stuff from you as well. It's not
that's
just a
right.
a, a one-sided or a one-way street. I like
Yeah,
learning from our people that we have on as well because they have value to provide,
of
and they
course.
have their story and those things. So, uh, my personal podcast, the Social Plug Podcast, the backdrop you see behind,
Yeah.
is our premise is ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So there's
Mm,
a lot of people in this community and beyond doing some great stuff. So we make sure that we highlight them and show people who they are, where they can find them, and we build confidence in those people along the way too. Because we've had a lot of people come on and say, "Man, I've never done this before. I'm kind of
yeah.
nervous. I'm kind of scared because when they walk in the studio, they see 5 cameras, they see all these lights, they see microphones and several people in here. Sometimes we have a live audience watching
Yeah.
some of these podcasts.
Yeah. I've
We
seen
had
that.
a we yeah we had a young lady, Val T. Webb. She came out on the Voice
Nice.
like 3 4 months ago, and so we had her come on and we highlighted her to tell her story, and we had like 25 people in here watching
I
that
love it.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it really speaks to me, man, because here at where I work, I'm the director of operations at Daniel Gomez Enterprise, and we have a lot of things going on as well, right? The umbrella, like you mentioned, and we've got a speaking academy. So Sticker Shock Speaking Academy is this weekend, and we'll actually have 30 some odd people come in from all over. I mean, we have folks. I got a truck driver coming out of Wyoming because it's his passion, it's his dream to get on stage and speak and and
Hell yeah.
and tell his story, right? Like this is a dude that was lost, man. Like he served prison time and then was found, and then now he wants to share that with the world. And but it's exactly like you said, because out there in doing the work, in the industry and where we're at, right? It's easy to say I'm a speaker, right? I mean, everybody's got that in there. I'm a speaker, right? But are they monetizing from it? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That's the difference. How do you turn what you're doing and to help you pay some bills to be able to go further down the road, and that's what we do at Sticker Shock Speaking Academy is we open up the playbook on how Daniel was able to get and become so successful as a motivational speaker, speaking on stages all the way into Asia, man, like across the world, and just taking that message to the masses. So similar to what you guys are doing there is what we do in the speaking academy, open it up, show them, help them, guide them, right? So they can go out and do this, and empower them. Like that's the thing, and we hear that all the time, Johnny, at the academy, right? The speaking academy is where people are like, I fear getting on stage. I think about one of my friends right now. This morning she was texting me. She goes, I think I'm going to throw up. Why? She said, "Oh, because I'm so nervous." And I said, it's not till Friday and Saturday. Like
Mhm.
we got plenty of time. But see, that's what happens to us, right? We get ourselves worked up. So, it's great that you guys are doing that to help them
Well,
boost them.
being nervous is it's human. You're supposed
Yeah,
to be
man.
nervous. That means you give a shit. That means you
Yeah.
wanna perform and you wanna do well. And
Yeah, that's right.
courage builds that confidence. Once you can accomplish talking to people, 2 or 300 people, how much confidence you get out of that, Jacob? You
Yeah.
can run marathons and mountains, and now you have all these other things. You're like, "Man, I can do this."
Yes.
Because I don't know how accurate this is, but I've read several places that one of the biggest fears is public speaking, talking
Yes,
to
it is.
others, talking to a big
Hmm.
crowd. People
Yeah.
would rather bungee jump or jump out of an airplane than public speak.
Yeah, man.
And but once you can accomplish that, man, that's a whole nother level of confidence, of courage, and of just getting out there. Now you can do anything you want, man. And I love
Yeah.
that. So thank you
Yeah.
guys for what you do as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, such a huge similarity, brother. I mean, we put our stage up. So I mean, the folks come, they get on stage, like, and then we actually create the speaker reel for them, which they're going to need, professional speaker reel. All the tools, all the little extra things that they're not getting out there in the community. Because like I said, there's a lot of competition, speaker competition, speaker classes, speaker conferences, which is great. It serves its purpose, but what you guys are doing is very similar to what we're doing, which is actually putting them in the lab, like putting them
Right.
putting them there and then
Mhm,
helping them. And
mhm.
so I love it, man. Yeah. So let me ask you. So when did you guys open up Collab Studios there? And
So Collab Space
Came up
Studios was
with.
born July 1st, man.
Love it.
So
Love it.
so I've had Social Plug Media for like a year and a half.
Okay.
And we were going from, from studio to studio, renting some space and doing
Yep.
that. And the opportunity arose downtown New Braunfels. I don't know who's been to New Braunfels, but we're right next to the Oyster Bar and Bootleggers Pizza. We're right in a little
Yeah.
courtyard, and the opportunity presented itself. We're like, we got to take that opportunity because this
Yeah.
is next level. The ability to help people and have your own studio, and it's a storefront, Jacob. So kind of
Wow.
like my SA or Great Day SA Live or whatever downtown and
Yeah.
Market Square. It's the
Yeah.
same kind of concept here. And,
Love it.
so we can see people walking by and all that, and it's a pretty cool concept. So to answer your question, July 1st is when
July
we open up
1st.
this studio. So it's in its infancy. I mean, it's kinda like a baby, I'm still cradling it, but we're building that momentum, and the more people we meet, the more people that know about our studio and yeah, it's gaining momentum, man. So it's a great space, and we also have the capability to host conferences. We've done marketing classes here as well. So we
Really?
teach people on the importance of marketing, social media, user generated content, things like that. People, trying to sell products. You see it on TikTok all the time, right?
Sure. Sure.
So we're doing those things and just giving people a voice and a canvas that they
Love
can
that.
create this stuff. We're not doing anything magical. We're just doing stuff uh that we've learned. Skins on the wall. We have the experience. Now, hey,
That's
I
it.
want to give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And we have this mindset. The more people that we make better, the better our community and better our world will be, man.
That's
So
it,
we're not
bro.
here to we don't like knocking anybody down. When we see people
Yeah.
doing well, hey, we high five them. Say, hell yeah, this is
Yeah.
how
Love that.
how this is how you should be influencing people, influencing the masses.
I
So
love that. I love that. You mentioned was it Bootleggers Pizza?
yeah,
Yeah. So my buddy Mi Frijoles, Andy, I'd
Andy
see him.
Chavez.
Andy Chavez, brother. Yeah, we used to work together at the Harley Davidson out there. I used to work there quite a few years back.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, Andy's a good guy. I used to print all
So
his T-shirts for a while.
dude, Andy, I just had dinner with him the other night.
Yeah,
At Bootleggers and at Oyster
yeah.
Bar right
He's
next
always
door.
he's always posting
Yeah,
there. So I'm like, man, I gotta check it
yeah,
out.
yeah. If you haven't had Andy Chavez's catering, you're missing
Mm,
out. So
that's a
we
great
just had
plug,
a
man. Yeah,
yeah,
me
we just had
frijoles catering.
a quinceañera for my daughter about a month
Uh-huh.
ago, and Andy was our caterer. He was the only guy that I was like, man, it's a no brainer. We need
That's
we need
it.
Andy Chavez here.
That's it.
So
Yeah,
he's a cool dude from San Antonio, Lanier High School. He
that's right.
keeps it real, and yeah, he has it going on.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, good shout out to
Yeah,
Andy. Andy's a cool cat, man. He does it right. It keeps it real, like you said. That's what's key.
absolutely.
And that's
Mhm.
and that's what I love about this, man. Is connecting with you, Johnny. Is I've seen so many folks that have you guys have had out there at the studio and on your show, and you know, so many similarities, and just helping them, through our venue, whatever it may be, help them spread their message,
Mm,
man. So many names, right? Dylan, I saw Uriel, and then I had
mhm.
Uriel on here, and Christian, and man, the names just go on and on and on, right?
Samantha Guajardo, we had her out of San
Samantha,
Antonio.
yeah, you had her out
Yep,
recently, right?
yep,
Also,
absolutely.
and she's doing some cool stuff, man. She's been doing some real cool
Yep,
stuff, something
yep,
that nobody jumped into that niche, and took it
yeah,
to where she's
yeah.
taking it. So
Mhm.
it's good stuff, man. There's a lot of networking that goes on out there, a lot of
Yep,
stuff, but
yep. Jacob, we've had Sonny Salceda. I don't know if you know Sonny
I saw
Salceda.
that. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a three-time Grammy Award winner. He plays the hell out of that accordion. We have
Yeah.
had other musicians on. We've had boxers on. Um, we're gonna have Alex Meixner. He's the polka king, and that's right
Wow.
before Worst Fest. So Worst Fest is a big deal here in New Braunfels.
Yes.
So Alex Meixner plays the hell out of the accordion. So he's gonna come on here and plays accordion, and we're gonna have a chat. And yeah, we've had actors on, and it's a fun thing that we do.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah, we're truly fortunate to be able to have those relationships and those connections. So
Yeah, well,
including you.
yeah, appreciate you, brother. I mean, we love New Braunfels, man. So the company Daniel, purchased a lake house out there on Dunlop, and we spend a lot of time out there on the lake and have a lot of fun. And we've been doing retreats and all kinds of cool
Okay.
stuff. And so definitely need to get out there and visit you, visit the studio. And let me ask you, Johnny, is I know you're in the real estate space as well. Is New Braunfels still up there as the number two fastest growing
I
city in the
believe if it's not
U.S.?
number 2, I mean, because that was an article a few months ago. If it's not number 2, it's at least top 10. Jacob,
Jeez, man.
this area is growing immensely. Uh,
Yeah,
I know it's not a big deal to San Antonio, but we're about to, or supposedly, get a Top Golf here soon.
really.
Hopefully by 2025, 2026. So
Yeah,
that's gonna bring even more people out here and bring even more intrigue to add to Schlitterbahn and the Two
yeah.
Rivers and the nightlife here. So the nightlife is pretty cool. A lot of people come
It's
here
picking up.
to watch live music. Some of the restaurants we got like Green River Grill and the Grist Mill, and we got places like Downtown Social, Poorhouse. We got a piano bar here, and a whole bunch of cool spots. Krause's, for those of you
Yeah.
that German food and German beer. They got the big steins, and so it's a little bit of everything, man. It is a melting pot here. About 20, 30 years ago, it was a lot of German influence. It still is a
Yep.
German influence, but now it's
Sure.
becoming a melting pot for a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people. So
Yeah.
we get to meet a lot of cool people. And the more people that come in, the more people that we meet and we network with. So we know a lot of the business owners around here, uh, industry people, bartenders. I mean, hell, Jacob, we drink a lot of booze, man. And drinking a lot of booze means we're doing a lot of networking, right? So we
Yeah.
talk to a
Yeah.
lot of people and margaritas and cocktails and this and that. It's like a weekly thing. But yeah, New Braunfels is very, very fun. So I'm born and raised in San Antonio. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
I'm
I
I
did not
love
know that,
yeah,
man. I
I
missed
love
it.
I love I love San Antonio. I went to Burbank High School, class of
Okay.
'95, right?
Class of
So
95. All right.
so yeah, from the body or from the hood, man. So I
Yeah,
got a
man.
little so I'm like a chameleon. I
Sure.
when I'm in the hood, I gotta do hood things.
Yeah.
And when I'm downtown, I do downtown things, and you just gotta fit in,
That's
right?
right.
And so I hang out with New Braunfels people, and I mean, I think it's made me a lot better just meeting a lot of different people. Being in the military, like you mentioned, that
Yeah.
opened up my mind to a whole different view of life. Growing up in South Side of San Antonio, we had a different perspective, right?
Sh-
It was sometimes a one-sided view of some things, but as I, progressed in the military and stayed in, I built more relationships and met more people and got to go visit more places and got stationed different places and got to meet mentors and people in the community, different kind of influencers and mayors. And so when I was in recruiting, I got to go meet different you know uh, principals and educators and all these people in college and
Sure.
college influencers. And it's crazy how many people that I've met just through getting out there and being deliberate with my relationships. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh man, I don't know what to say to that person," or "Man, when I go to the bar, I go sit at the bar on purpose, Jacob, so I can talk to
Yeah.
different people." And you
Yeah.
meet some pretty cool people at the bar just by opening up a conversation. "Hey man,
You know,
how are
it's
you? Hey, nice hat, nice shoes, whatever," and then you just start talking.
it's interesting you say that because, my background, I was, 22 years with juvenile probation there in San
Mhm.
Antonio, and my last 13 years I was a supervisor. So, I hired a lot of folks and helped groom them up, in their career.
Mhm.
And I found a lot of pleasure in that, helping them, strive to, I felt fulfilled from seeing them get promotions and that stuff out of my unit. And but at the same time, the kids that we worked with, I could really relate to because I was raised by a single parent, by a single mom, and so I know what those struggles were like when I was a troubled kid, right? When I was being necio, and I was being
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
headed and stuff, but I leveraged a lot of that to where I am today. I leveraged some of that stuff as how I could, relate to the kids, man. And so let me ask you this question, Johnny. So having been in the military, right? Um, what was the driving factor from the military into business? Because you're a businessman,
mhm,
right?
yep,
Entrepreneur. But the whole new thing in business is not so much just business. It's like the new way of doing business, right? Is influencer, entrepreneur. It's a new style. It almost feels like it's not the traditional business. Yeah, we got
Right.
to we got to follow the P&I. We got to follow all these other things, right? We got to keep a track on our numbers and do the business side of things, but it's almost like a new way, right? Because
Right.
there's the influencer. We want to communicate. We want to touch more people. We want to get out and network. And the word you used, Johnny, which was shit, I can't remember what it was, but it's very similar to what we use, which is intentional. So we say that here a lot is
Deliberate.
being
I think
intentional.
I used deliberate.
I think it was deliberate.
Yeah.
So you're deliberate about what you're doing by sitting at the bar, engaging in conversation. And I have had to learn, having gone from being 22 years in juvenile probation. I was very introverted. I was not the guy I am today, right? Like I would have never thought about having a podcast show or even this whole thing, Leverage Nation, right? I was very introverted. Like I went to work and I went home and I had my small circle. I didn't associate and affiliate too much out there. I know a lot of people, but I just, I was very introverted, right? But now today, because of business and because of this personal development field that we're in, we're very intentional. So we use that word a lot, which is like what you said, deliberate.
hmm
So how did you transition out of the military into the guy you are today? What was it? What
So
was
do you
that
remember
like?
Jay? You remember Jay? You know Jay-Z, the rapper.
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah, yeah,
they asked him about his business? He says, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a
yeah,
businessman." So
yeah. I love that.
you talk about personal brand, Jacob.
Yes, 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 yes.
This is my face, the way I present myself, the way I talk, the things I do, my relationships with the people. That is my business. So to answer your question even further, when I was in the Air Force, I was an Air Force recruiter for 16 and a half years. So
Okay.
I was running my own business while I was serving in the Air Force. I
Love it.
was the brand. I was the person, the influencer, talking to these young kids about changing their life, changing their lifestyle, not working at Jack in the Box or Taco Cabana, but instead leveling up, gaining that leverage to do something bigger than yourself, to do
Yes.
something, a team bigger than just the average football team. You're doing a worldwide team
Yeah.
and you're impacting lives, you're impacting generations, you're changing the trajectory not only of your family but in the lives of others as well. So I got to build those relationships, like I mentioned earlier, with teachers, with influencers, with parents. I would have to talk to parents about how the Air Force was a great option for their kid, because a lot of people don't want their kids joining the military. Because what do
Yeah.
they say? Mijo, you're gonna go die in the war, right?
Yep.
And what I
Yep.
would tell parents is, I get it. That's the fear of the unknown, but we're at war right now in the community. You have
The
drive-bys,
streets.
you
Yeah.
have people get hit by buses, road rage, you have these school shootings. You have so much shit going on that we're at war right now, whether you know it or not. We're at
That's
war
right.
and we're having to defend ourselves.
That's
We're
right.
always having our head on a swivel, although we're not always having guns and fighting a traditional war like you see on TV. We're at
Yeah.
war with ourselves, within our brains, within our relationships. There's domestic things going on. But I got to talk to those parents about how the Air Force can change the life of not only their kid, but their lives as well. That they can be
Mm,
proud. They can have somebody who never served before now serving in their family. So to me, that's a big deal. And I had the skins
yeah.
on the wall, Jacob, like you mentioned. I'd
Yeah.
been there, done that. I was recruiting in San Antonio at Burbank High School, at South San High School,
Love it.
Lanier, McCullum, all these different places. So I sat in those seats. I know what it was like. And being able to talk to parents about that and all these tough conversations uh, allowed me and enabled me and encouraged me to become a business person, because now I was running my own business. I was representing the Air Force
That's
on a
right.
big scale. They
Yeah.
weren't really, they knew the Air Force, but I was the brand.
Yes.
Johnny Martinez was the one who was the liaison going back and forth and changing their life, because the Air Force True was going to change their life. The company
Sure.
was going to change their life, but I was the one that was going to get them there. So
Yeah.
similar to what I do today. So I was in sales, marketing, and negotiation. Pretty much
Mm,
what I do today, Jacob. Real estate, podcasting, being in charge of Collab Space Studios, all these different things. I was doing that in the Air Force
I love it.
before I was doing it. So I was running a business, and I really didn't
Yeah.
even think about it until I was at the tail end of my career. I was like, man, I could do this on the outside. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of vets that go into different career fields that don't have that opportunity to
Yeah.
go collaborate with people and network with people and do all these things. But I had that opportunity, and I was like, I have a pretty cool skill that the average Joe doesn't have. I've been
Yeah,
running
man.
this business for 16 years, and I was in charge of teams. I was in charge of a lot of different people. I was a drill instructor as well prior to being a recruiter. So
Huh.
I led teams. And that's why I tell people I'm a leader. I can't
Yeah.
take that out of my blood.
Yeah, it's
So when
in there.
people
Yeah.
say, I mean, I led troops. I taught them how to be airmen. I turned them from civilians into a military mind, and I changed people's lives from high school or college or just somebody working at Taco Bell and turned them into a military member.
Yeah,
And
you
so
use
if
that.
I can do that, I can do anything.
Yeah, man, you use that know, like, and trust because people
Right.
do business with people they know, like, and trust. So as a recruiter, you grabbed onto that without even knowing it. Like you said,
Mhm.
you were just going heart to heart with the I know how you feel because I felt that way before,
Yep.
right? A
Feel,
lot of
felt,
those.
found.
That's right,
Yep.
brother. All
Mhm.
those elements, and then
Yep.
relating to the parents because you could explain how your parents felt, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And so I see that, man. I love that. So it takes me right back to leverage, right? The whole leverage
Yep.
thing. I usually ask that
Mhm.
question, and I'll ask, like, can you give me an example of, when you use leverage opportunity? But there it is, guys. And Johnny's definitely dropping a lot of value bombs right there, guys. So if you're in the military, there's an example right there, right? How can you start setting your sights on what your next thing may be whenever you exit the military, whenever you retire from the military, right? And the thing
And
that
and
I
so
love,
Jacob, not to cut you off on that point, but I'm gonna
yeah,
forget. I'm getting old.
go ahead, go ahead.
But because you said the military, so you don't only have to be in recruiting to do those
Sure,
things. The
sure,
military member is very structured, very organized. So any
yeah,
military member out there, we solve problems every day. We
yes,
counsel, we counsel subordinates, or we counsel people that need
yes,
help. And we are injecting ourselves in other people's lives with our personal testimony, with our
yeah,
personal counseling and things like that. So the military member is very, very structured, and they're thinking about the bigger picture constantly. And I know a
yeah,
lot of military members out there that are great business owners and great business people and great dads and influencers, motivators because of that mindset that we had. You got to
yeah,
get shit done. And
that's right,
nobody cares if you're sick. Nobody cares if you have a headache. You got to get shit done for the client, for whoever you're helping, no matter what business you're in, whether it's a
right,
podcast or whether you're selling homes or whether you're speaking. People come to see you and people want to flock to you because of your credibility and because of what you bring to the table. And so that's just another food for thought for the military member. Everybody has an opportunity. Not only military members, everybody has an opportunity to make a difference.
that's right, that's right, guys. So many value bombs just being dropped right there, man. This episode, you're gonna need to go back and listen to this episode a couple of times because, they were just coming out like rapid fire from Johnny, you know, and here's the thing, Johnny. I want to ask this question, right? I always think of something in particular. And so we spoke to the military folks right now, right? Anybody who's getting ready to leave the military or exited, right? Like owning your job, like as if you're the owner of the company, right? So like you embodied being in the military from what I hear, and you owned it, you embodied it because you believed it, you lived it, you breathed it, so you were able to sell it, right? And then you were able to wear it, everything, and be an example. And thank you for your service, brother. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I think that I
Appreciate you.
think yeah. My father
Mhm.
was Army. My grandfather was Army. My stepfather was Army. I have tons of family that's military. It wasn't my path, man. It was not my path. But it's all good. I have ultimate respect for folks who sign and say I'm gonna go, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to subject myself to
Yeah,
whatever it is,
yeah. It
you
takes a
know.
lot of courage to get out of your comfort zone doing what you're doing to go serve in the military, any branch.
That's
And
right.
know that you're going to leave. You're going to go to some unknown place. You're going to
Yeah.
meet unknown people. I mean, shit, how scary is that, Jacob? And I understood that. I understood that perspective. So those are the
Yeah.
things that I would talk to these people. I know how you feel. I'll feel the same way. But what
Yeah.
I found was this.
That's
And
right.
the Air Force isn't that bad.
That's right.
Everything I have today, Jacob, is because of the Air Force. Every skill that I have and every my wife today, I met her while I was serving in the Air Force.
Great.
And
Yeah.
everything I have. So I owe the Air Force everything. And if
Yeah.
people knew, Jacob, what the Air Force had to offer, there'd be a line all the way from New Braunfels all the way down to the damn Alamo. Because people
Jeez.
would say, man, that is something I want to do. But today, I mean, it's a scary thing because they see these wars going on.
Yes.
We don't know what's going to happen. Politics kind of scare people off, and
Oh, of
there's
course. Yeah.
just so many uh, objections, obstructions, challenges going through people's mind, and yeah, it's crazy. But if people only knew what the military or the Air Force had to offer, man, it'd be a game changer, not only for our
Yeah.
country but for people's lives.
Yeah. Well, I have told my son on several occasions, he says, "Well, Dad, I don't know about college, or I don't know about this or that." So,
Mhm.
well, if it's not college, it's the military.
Yeah.
you know,
Bro, I got 3 college
pick a
degrees
branch.
while I was in the Air
From the
Force.
military. Yeah,
3.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah. So that's what
and
I
a lot of
figure.
skills.
You know, and a
Yep.
lot of skills. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I want to speak to a couple groups here because I know you and I share some opinions on some stuff. Um, what advice? What's the number one advice you would drop on a brand new realtor, right? Because I used to speak to a lot of new realtors, man, and before I came over here to DG Enterprises to take on my role here, right? For 4 years I was speaking to new realtors, and some had been around a minute, but like, what's the number one thing you would tell them, right?
So I talk to new realtors all the time. They call me,
That's
"Hey,
right.
I'm about to get my license, this and that." So I say,
Yeah.
"You wanna be active and visible in the community." One
Yeah.
of the hardest things to do in any business, but especially real estate, is to lead generate. Some people can't,
Yes.
they don't know how to lead generate. So they resort to going out and buying these leads. It's a waste of
Yeah.
money. If
Yeah.
you can accomplish the task or the challenge of being able to generate your own leads, that is a game changer for you. You got
Yeah.
to use social media, use your leverage, use your the resource power, the connection power that you have in your community. Go to your favorite restaurants, go to your favorite shoe store, whatever, and use social media. Try on shoes and show people, hey, this is my personal testimony. Hey, your local realtor is doing this, this, this. The more active and visible you are, the better you're going to be. People are going to know you as a credible resource. So I know a lot
Yeah.
of realtors, they kind of fizzle out because the lack of lead generation.
Yep.
So from Johnny Martinez to any new realtors, that is what I say. Learn to generate leads, hang on to a mentor who knows how to generate leads and can truly show you how to build relationships. Don't be fake, don't be disingenuous, because people know if you're fake or disingenuous, but just
Yeah.
meeting you or seeing you online. Make sure that you build those relationships with true authenticity from your heart, and then go take a deep dive into everything else. But and this is not just for real estate, it's a business owner and just a person in general. If you want
Yeah.
to be likable, you want people to trust you in life, just to have more friends or more opportunities to build new things, be active and visible, but in a good way. So
And I love what you're saying there, man. I love it. It's so true because, I used to say all the time, there's no secret agents, right? There's no secret agents. So, exactly, guys, exactly what Johnny's talking about right there is so valuable. And that was a mistake I would
yeah,
see
yeah,
quite often, right?
yeah,
Even today we see people, here at DG Enterprises, they become a speaker, they come through the academy, and they walk away with all the tools and resources to go out and monetize it. But then what happens is they forget, and then they go out and they become a secret agent, they become a secret
yeah,
speaker. And it's like, dude, you just spent a nice little grip to come to
mhm,
the academy, an investment in yourself, right? And then you went and you just went back. Like, I use this example, Johnny, a lot, the turtle, right? So if we
mhm,
think about a turtle, man, what does a turtle do? The turtle comes out and he says, I want to cross that road. And he puts his head out there and he looks. He says, "Oh hell no, it's scary," and he goes back into the turtle shell. That's what people do all the
Yeah.
time, man. All the time.
Real estate is scary. It's a scary thing because it it kind of is saturated with agents. But guess
Yeah,
what?
fifteen
All you
thousand
need is
five hundred in
all yeah,
Sabor.
is a niche to get out
That's
there,
it.
and
Yeah.
people are going to find out who you are.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't get out there, and I'm not afraid. I know that Jacob, there could be 45,000 realtors in this area,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be okay because of the
Yeah.
relationships I built, because of the
Exactly.
content that I'm putting out, because of the people I'm talking to. And they don't just look at me as a realtor, they look at me as a valuable resource of information. And
Yes.
that's who they want to do business with. Hey,
That's right.
Johnny, hey, do you know somebody who mows lawns? Hey, do you know a water softener person? Hey, you know a mechanic? Hey, you know a dog groomer? Hey, you know
Yeah.
somebody who can help me write a book? You know
The
somebody who can do
professional
this?
resource. That's right.
Right, right, and that's what I am, and I just happen to sell real estate, but I can help you in so many ways, and I teach my kids the same thing. Just get out there and meet as many people as you can. You're gonna be better for it,
Yeah.
and it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So
Exactly.
that's another piece of advice that's kinda connected to what I said, because you can know 1,000 people, right? But if they don't refer you, if they don't say your name in public, then it's all for nothing. But when they can say Jacob Davis, Johnny Martinez, when people are asking for a realtor, asking for somebody who can help me level up, then they say your name while you're asleep. That's the magic potion right there. And that's just
Yes.
the relationships you build. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
That's right. It's so true. I was listening to a podcast not so long ago, and a gentleman was on there, Broker Taps. He's out of California, and he's a in California they have brokers, right? Here we have realtors. It's kind of a play on words, different states,
Right.
but Broker Taps. And if I recall correctly, he's the gentleman that I listened to that had come over from Mexico, didn't know anybody, learning the language, was able to get his real estate license, right? And they asked him on the episode, like, how did you generate business? If you didn't know anybody, right? You barely knew English. How did you generate business? He walked around with 100 business cards a day in his pocket, and he handed them out every single day. And I'll never forget this, Johnny. So it's outworking the next guy, right? You
Mhm.
like you said, there could be 45,000 realtors in your area in your board, but if if 45,000 of them are not working and not non-existent, like my new book, I don't know where it is. It's coming out soon, but you don't exist until you exist is the phrase that
Mhm.
that goes right with my brand. Does the
Mhm.
world know you brand exists? Do people know Johnny Martinez? Yeah. Yeah, they know him, right? So it was like that gentleman was saying he carried 100 business cards every day in his pocket, and if he still had cards in his pocket by the end of the day, he would go to Walmart. He went to Walmart because Walmart was open like crazy hours apparently, and he would just hand out
Mhm.
his cards. And now he's a very successful, wealthy real estate agent with teams that he's built
Yep.
this.
Yep.
But he
Put hey,
existed.
put
He
put those cards right there on the where you pump gas in the card
everywhere,
reader,
everywhere.
in the grocery store, in the refrigerator. I mean, something. So
Yeah,
there's so many ways to generate leads or just to get people to know you as
yeah.
well. So it's limitless, man.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. It's been a great time, man, talking with you. I want to round home base here, and I want to ask you, what, Johnny, what is something that you would say to our viewers, right? Most of my viewers are in a sweet spot, and I'm a little bit older than you, brother, but most of our viewers are younger than you and I. I look at the algorithms, I look at the metrics on YouTube,
Mhm.
and the viewers are a bracket below. And what would you say to those guys that are plugging in for content, that are plugging in for hopefully a great message regarding entrepreneurship, sales professionals? That's the target base, right? That we speak to, you and I believe, right? For the most part. what's something that you would drop on them, man? Like tell them, a Johnny Martinez value bomb for somebody who's like, man, I want to get into business, but I just don't know. Like, I don't know if that's for me. I don't know if I can do it.
Great question. I probably have 100 different answers. Depends on the scenario. Like I said, get out there and let people know your genuine heart.
Yeah.
Listen and be a student. You don't know everything. Hell, I don't know everything. I don't even know half of what the hell I need to know.
Yeah.
But I've built this machine of just teaming up with people. And you know the cliche: if you're the smartest guy in the room, get out of the room, or you're in the wrong
Sure.
room, right?
Sure.
Um, but it's true. Get out there and meet smart people. Gravitate towards successful people. Don't be a dick. Don't go out there and think you're better than anybody, but have a confidence. And that's another thing. So I'm kind of merging this together. You need
Yeah.
to have a
Yeah.
confidence, but not an arrogance. Um, when I walk in a room, I make sure I have my shoulders back, my chest out, my head on a swivel, but I'm looking for people to meet. And I have my hand, either I'm gonna give you some dap or I'm gonna shake your hand, but they're gonna remember me. And
Yeah.
they can think about me however they want. Hey, that guy is
Yeah.
real confident or whatever, right? But they're gonna remember me, but I'm gonna make them feel as good as I can. So get out there and just be genuine, but have confidence. Confidence is king right now. No matter what you're selling or what you're trying to do, when you have confidence, you can conquer the world. You can lift more weights. You can do more things with that confidence and swag. And just get out there and just do it. But make sure that you understand the persona that you're giving off. Make sure you know your vibe. Make sure that you are not being a dick to people. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just it.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people out there and they can be a little mean and things. You see it on social media all the time, Jacob.
Sure.
When somebody's asking a simple question, a new realtor, a new business owner, whatever, and people are just in there just bashing them. And no, take the time to help others. And I'm going to answer the question even further with another little take. Don't miss an opportunity to help somebody in need. Okay. If you see somebody struggling, somebody failing, somebody that needs a helping hand, get out there and help them. And you
Yeah.
don't need to take credit for it, but just help as many people as possible. And people will start knowing your heart.
Yeah.
That you're a genuine resource and you're there to help people. Don't
Good.
always be, hey, look at me, I'm helping everybody. No, no, make sure that you're doing it with a servant's heart. Be a servant in the community, and all these things will start building your confidence, your growth. People will start knowing who you are. Your business will start flourishing. Why? Because new opportunities are going to be there for you, and it's just a stair step of success. You have to have all these things. And I'm going to answer another piece of that.
Yeah.
Be be continuous. Don't stop your momentum. Make sure you're consistent with everything you're doing. If you want to accomplish a dream, a goal, whatever, be consistent. Make sure you work hard at it. And you mentioned it earlier, Jacob. You got to outwork the next person because people are sitting on their hands
That's
sometimes.
right.
And
Yeah. That's right.
people have this perspective, hey, I'm going all in. I'm going I'm going hard, 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 but are you really? I think Denzel Washington said it. Don't mistake movement with progress. Because I see a lot
Mm.
of people just going in circles
Cool. Yeah.
constantly.
Good. That's fire.
Make sure that you're doing something with deliberation. Make sure you are doing things on purpose to make sure that you maximize your potential to either solve the problem, accomplish a goal, and to help others as well. Part of your goal should be to help others as well. And I'm a firm believer of that. I teach my kids that. I teach everybody, or I don't teach, but I try to mentor people within my
Sure.
group. Help people, and you eventually start seeing the momentum shifting your way. People start knowing you as a credible resource. So I answered the question in a whole bunch of different ways, but yeah, be consistent. Don't be a dick. Make sure you help others, and make sure you're active and visible. And you put all those together, and then some. I mean, hell, I can write a book probably, Jacob, with all the things that I've learned.
Let's
And
do it.
yeah, man. So
Yeah. I love
that
that.
was a broad question, but hopefully I answered it
Now
the
you brought
way
it.
the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you brought it. You brought it. because I wanted you to go wherever it spoke
Mhm.
to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
my mind was
that's the
racing with
key.
how many things.
But
Yeah,
yeah, and that's the key is, I hope our audience here, the viewers, are able to pick up some of those nuggets because it's going to resonate with people at different stages of where they're at. And the beauty about YouTube and video and content and all this is that it can exist out there forever. Like it will exist. So you know my son will hear this, your children will hear this, right? Other people who are coming up will hear this, right? Not just the people of today, you know what I
yeah,
mean, that are plugging away in business.
yeah.
And ultimately, what really spoke to me from there, Johnny, was to help others.
Mhm.
That's it, man. I've been sending this message out to some of our team over the last 2 weeks, here and there, is like, when you needed help, somebody reached their hand out at some point in time in life, man. Whatever it was, who knows what it was, right? It could have been a couple bucks, it could have been anything. But at the right time, somebody reached out their hand and helped you. It could have been in business, it could have been in school setting, it
Yeah,
could have been at the grocery store, it could have been at the bar, it could have been, but at the right time, somebody reached out and gave you a helping hand. So this is what I've been telling my
yeah,
team recently is, who out there is waiting for you to reach out your hand to them? There's somebody out there. So at the end of the day, what you're saying, Johnny, is exactly what I've been saying, brother, which is, let's just be help, man. Like, let's help
yeah,
each other, you know?
yeah. Dude, so even on social media, you see people on there posting some stuff, reach out to them. Either
Yeah.
say, "Hey, you're doing a great job." Even just saying, "Hey, you're doing a great job." That can change everything. Or, "Hey,
Yes.
I see you're struggling, but hey, let me help you." Or
That's right.
just giving people a little feedback like you're doing great. Keep up the content. Keep up selling houses. Keep up selling solar. Keep selling whatever. Keep
Yep.
making an impact in the lives of others. I try to do that as much as I can. If somebody crosses my mind, I try to just text them or reach out to them on Facebook Messenger or Instagram or something. Say, "Hey, great video. I loved it. That's going to inspire other people." And then
Yeah.
they kind of get that momentum, man. And
Yeah.
one of the things, because you kind of alluded to it a little bit, and I wanted to hit it on the head.
Yeah.
One of the great things that I love about being on a podcast is when it's all said and done, Jake, when my kids are watching over me, looking at me when it's my time to go, they can have these videos and
Yeah.
these nuggets and these words of affirmation, words of wisdom, all these things. Because how many times have we seen in the older generation when somebody passes away, you didn't even have a voicemail, you didn't have anything, maybe a
Yes.
photo. Hey, this was my grandfather. Hey, this was my dad. No, do you have any video of him? No. But people like yourself, like myself, I love this video interaction and
Yeah.
engagement. So my kids and my wife and whoever can always go back and say, "Man, look at this dude right here. He was bringing it. He was talking about
Yeah.
helping people and talking about this and helping people succeed and build a business and all these things that I wish I had when I was younger. Why didn't we didn't have that?"
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's near and dear to my heart. That was one of my premises. And I try to say it as much as possible so people can understand what makes my mind tick and why I say some of the things I say and why I come on video and things. It's not really for me. It's
Yeah.
for them. It's for others. And
Yeah.
hopefully I can continue to help people once we're all gone. I mean, we don't know when our last breath is going to be taken,
Yeah.
but these are going to be taken out of the archives, hopefully. And people are
Yes.
like, "Man, I remember he said that. That dude was passionate.
Yeah.
That dude really gave a shit about people. He gave a shit about what he was talking about." So
Yeah.
that's just
You know
another
what?
perspective.
What comes to mind, man, is you know, so like my father passed away when I was 12, my biological
Mhm.
father, and I probably have a handful of photos, man, and there's no videos, right? I mean, we're talking many, many years back.
Right.
And so all I have is a small handful of memories and a small handful of photos. But as you were talking, man, what just resonated to me was I was thinking about Martin Luther King, right? And that
Mhm.
recording. like his speech,
Yeah.
like that lives on forever. So
It's
it's just like this
timeless.
it's timeless. So it's just like
Yeah.
this videos, it's just like this content, it's so true because I feel like there's a portion of me that's one of the driving factors for me is, like, my father was taken from me early. And, I fear like future generations, grandchildren and things like that, like not them not having anything to know about me, and stuff. So I can definitely relate to that, brother.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah. Man, it's been a great show. It's been a great time, Johnny, talking with you, man. And thank you so much for jumping on with me this evening. And
My pleasure, brother.
what's the best way for folks to reach out to you, man? Because I know there's people out there that need Johnny Martinez in their life, man. I know that somehow, some way, whether it be through the new studio project, or maybe it's the social plug,
Mhm.
podcast, or maybe even real estate in the New Braunfels area. Like you got a lot of great things going on that you're helping people with. What's the best way for them to reach you, Johnny?
So I'm blessed to have so many people around me, man. But the way you can reach me, I would say Facebook is my primary. I know that's a whole nother podcast in itself. What is the best platform?
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
Facebook because I like the groups and all these interactions. It's not just
yes,
for old people. Facebook's for young people too, for
yeah.
business owners. But you can reach me on Facebook on my personal page, Johnny Martinez. You can reach me at Social Plug Media, which is on Facebook as well. On
Yep.
Instagram, it's the Social Plug Podcast, or actually, it's the Social Plug Media on Instagram. We are on TikTok under Social Plug Media.
Okay.
And on Facebook, we have the Social Plug Podcast and Social Plug Media on Facebook as well. I think I mentioned that.
Yes.
And emails, it's pretty much socialplugmedia@gmail.com. For real estate, it's under Facebook, Johnny Martinez, veteran realtor. Top Flight
Okay.
Realty Group is the team my wife and I are on. So
Yes.
we are it's a husband and wife real estate team. She's actually the better realtor. She's a badass, man. Big shout out to my
Yeah.
wife Jessica Martinez. She motivates me and keeps me sane. She's like my service person.
Nice.
Whenever I, go off the rails, I go to her for advice and guidance. But we do a Top Flight Realty Group. We help a lot of people, mostly veterans, but we can help anybody. It don't matter if you need a conventional loan, VA loan, whatever. So yeah, man, I can go on and on with all these different platforms, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
reach out to me on Facebook, uh, under Social Plug Media, Top Flight Realty Group, or Johnny Martinez. Collab Space Studios is also on Instagram and on Facebook, Jacob.
Good stuff, guys. And I'll put some of this in the description there, so y'all will be able to get in touch with Johnny. And as you heard it, guys, you heard it here, all the value
Mm.
bombs. And I've met Johnny. I know Johnny. He's not somebody that like I said, just, hey, yeah, jump on the show, man. Like, if you guys have not figured that out yet, the only folks that I'm connecting with to be on the show actually have some skins on the wall, and they actually give a shit, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, is people who are doing the work, but are people who are really care about other people and
Yeah,
want to help.
yeah,
It's super valuable to me.
yeah. And Jacob, I'm here to help anybody. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. I like thinking of myself as a any industry. I do hashtag any industry sometimes. It don't matter
Yeah,
what industry you're in. I'm here to help you. Chances are, if I don't know the answer, I can find out.
love
So,
it, love it.
yeah.
Well, Johnny, I appreciate you so much, brother. Appreciate you jumping on. And once again, this is Jacob Davis, Leverage Nation. I do want to give a shout out to our show sponsor, DG Publishing. As I mentioned, my book, and we talk about leverage, right? My book's coming out, and I leverage the opportunity to give 11 folks an opportunity to share a piece of their story in the chapter. So my book coming out, there's 12 of us in there sharing a piece of our story in each chapter. So you get a leverage opportunity. People talking about different things with entrepreneurship, life. There's so many. It's a great mixture going on there. So shout out to DG Publishing, Daniel Gomez, for helping me make that first book a success. I know it's amazing project. And once again, guys, have a great evening. This is Leverage Nation.